All right, we're going to take a look at two measures that are commonly used in epidemiology and are also commonly confused for one another, and that's proportionate mortality and case fatality rate. So first we're going to look at the proportionate mortality for colon cancer, and then we're going to calculate the case fatality rate for lung cancer. What we really want to pay attention to is the denominator in each of these equations. So first let's start with our proportionate mortality. Proportionate mortality is looking at, of the total deaths in this population, what percentage or what proportion can be attributed to our specific cause we're interested in. So we're looking at colon cancer here. So we're interested in the deaths due to colon cancer divided by the total number of deaths in that population. Okay, so I'm going to put proportionate mortality here, and it's again going to be the number of deaths from the cause of interest divided by all deaths in our population times 100 to give us X percentage. Okay. And this is a proportion, so we will express it as a percentage. So again, for our proportionate mortality example for colon cancer, we're going to have 784 on top. That's another number of deaths due to colon cancer, divided by 2,375 times 100, which when we plug that into our calculator, 784 divided by 2375 times 100 gives us 33.0%. Okay. So if we're going to interpret this value, what it's telling us is that 33% of all deaths, deaths in this population, or cancer deaths, were due to colon cancer. Okay, so as you're practicing these, don't just practice the calculation alone. Also take some time to practice the interpretation and writing out that sentence. Explain what these various measures are telling us, because not everyone's going to be as familiar with them as you are. All right, next we're going to do case fatality rate. Okay, and this time our denominator is going to change. Okay, so this is where people kind of get them confused. They get them flip-flopped. We're going to still have the deaths from the cause of interest on top. This time, instead of colon cancer, we're going to be looking at lung cancer. But now our denominator is going to be the total number with that disease or with that condition. Okay, so if we come back up to our table for our case fatality rate, we're going to be looking at, I'll put a star here, the number of deaths for lung cancer divided by the total number of people who had lung cancer, the total number of cases. Okay, and we're still going to multiply this by 100 to express it as a percentage. Okay, so make note of this. It's called a rate, but I'm going to put rate in quotation marks up there because it's really a proportion. So let's go ahead and plug in our numbers then. We have 934 divided by 19,644 times 100. And when we plug this into our calculator, 34 divided by 19,644 times 100, we get 4.8% with rounding. Okay, so again, practicing the interpretation here, what this is telling us is 4% of people with lung cancer died as a result of their lung cancer. Okay. And that is proportionate mortality and case fatality rate. Remember to distinguish between your denominators in these equations.